three incredible inventions: the 8-track tape, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and the Ford Mustang. Can you guess which one we're talking about today? In this video, we'll take a closer look at the history of the Mustang, exploring each generation of this legendary car as it approaches 60 years of continuous production, and talk about the changes that have made it unique. So to borrow a quote from TV host Ralph Edwards, Ford Mustang, this is your life. As we all know, the Ford Mustang is more than just a car. It's a cultural phenomenon that has left an indelible mark on American history. But where did the idea for the Mustang come from? During the 1960s, the American automotive industry was amid a revolution, with a growing demand for small, sporty cars that were both affordable and stylish. This new type of vehicle was dubbed the pony car, and Ford was determined to get into the action. Lee Iacocca, a visionary Ford executive, saw an opportunity to create a car that was not only practical but also exciting, and he set out to make it a reality. Iacocca and his team worked tirelessly to design a car that would capture the attention of drivers of all ages. They wanted it to be sleek and sporty, yet affordable. And so after a short development period of only 18 months, in 1964, the Mustang was born. Named after a World War II fighter plane, the Mustang was unveiled by Henry Ford II at the 1964 World's Fair. It was really just a Falcon with a new body, even built in the same plant in Dearborn, Michigan. But that didn't matter to car buyers, who lined the streets at their local dealerships just to catch a glimpse. It was marketed as an entirely new concept, a moderately priced personal car with room for four. While some people dismissed it as a secretary's car, it had a sporty profile aimed at the emerging baby boomer market, and they loved it. The Mustang was an instant success. They thought they would sell 100,000 in a year, but they sold 22,000 in just the first day. This first generation, known as the 1964.5 Mustang, was available as a coupe or convertible and was powered by a range of engines, including a 6-cylinder and 2 V8 options. The Mustang quickly became an icon of American car culture, with its distinctive design and powerful performance. Because the car had been rushed into production and had to borrow so much from the Ford Falcon, there were some unusual quirks, like the horn ring bearing the Falcon logo, covered by a Mustang logo, and mechanics were also able to use existing Fairlane and Falcon parts for repairs since they basically shared so many of the same traits. But within a few years, Ford began making the Mustang more, well, Mustang. Over the course of the first generation, the Mustang underwent a number of changes, including the introduction of the Fastback model in 1965, which was used as the basis for the Shelby GT350, a high-performance version of the Mustang. In 1967, it was given a significant refresh with a redesigned body and interior. The 1968 GT Fastback, popularized by Steve McQueen in the movie Bullitt, easily outran the chasing '68 Dodge Chargers. In 1969, the car continued to evolve by allowing a big block engine and other front-end styling changes. New models and performance upgrades, including the introduction of the Boss 302 and the Boss 429 models in 1969, added more heft, and a variety of performance and decorative options became available, including air scoops and both wing and chin spoilers. But despite the Mustang's popularity, it faced some challenges in the early 1970s. As a result of rising gas prices and changing customers' tastes, demand for the Mustang decreased, and it struggled to compete with smaller, more fuel-efficient cars. However, Ford was determined to keep the Mustang alive, and in 1971, they introduced the Mach 1 model, which was a nod to the car's racing heritage. By the end of the first generation in 1973, the Mustang had cemented its place in automotive history. It had survived the challenges of the early 1970s and remained a symbol of American muscle and style. The Mustang had become more than just a car. It was a legend, and this was just the beginning of its story. The second generation of the muscle car was introduced to the world in 1974. The engineers of Mustang made huge changes to the previous design of the pony car. Ford felt that the Mustang needed to appeal to a larger variety of consumers. Though Mustang was one of the best products of its time, the new generation had to appeal to the changes in government regulations. So the Mustang II was a smaller, more fuel-efficient car than the first generation, which was important given the rising gas prices and concerns about the environment during the 1970s. In terms of performance, the Mustang II was not as powerful as its predecessor, but it still had some notable features. The Mustang II Cobra, introduced in 1976, had a sport-tuned suspension and was powered by a 302 cubic inch V8 engine, which produced 140 horsepower. It also had unique styling, including a black grille and hood scoop, as well as Cobra emblems on the fenders and rear deck lid. In 1978, Ford introduced the King Cobra model, which was the most powerful Mustang II ever produced. It was powered by a 5-liter V8 engine that produced 139 horsepower and 240 pounds of torque. Though at the time the Mustang II was considered a success and an improvement over the first generation, time hasn't let it age well. Die-hard Mustang enthusiasts complained that the car simply had lost its appeal as it tried to be all things to all people. The luxury Ghia model, designed by the Ford's recently acquired Ghia of Italy, gave it a hardtop and thickly padded vinyl roof and smaller rear windows that didn't roll all the way down. The problem was that when compared to other cars on the road, the Mustang felt, well, too normal. Ford knew it, and so in the next generation of Mustang's journey, things were about to get a lot more exciting. In 1979, Ford unveiled the third generation of the Mustang, which was once again a significant departure from the previous generation. It was made smaller, lighter, and more agile, which gave it a sportier and more athletic feel. It was made to be more aerodynamic and fuel efficient than the Mustang II. The third generation Mustang, commonly referred to as the Fox body, was available in a variety of styles, including a coupe, convertible, and hatchback. One of the most notable features of this generation was a range of engines that were available. Ford offered a 4-cylinder engine, a 6-cylinder engine, and 2 different V8 options. The third generation Mustang was made without Lee Iacocca, whom Henry Ford II had fired. Though Iacocca had been working in the Fox car designs, Ford didn't change course that much after Iacocca's departure. It turned out that the smaller cars were indeed needed due to the oil issues in the early 80s, and the fact that Ford was selling more cars internationally and needed to keep up with foreign competition. Over the course of the third generation, the Mustang underwent several changes, including the introduction of the Mustang SVO in 1984. The SVO was a performance-oriented version of the Mustang that featured a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine and a sports-tuned suspension, making it one of the most exciting Mustangs of the decade. Overall, the third-generation Mustang served as an important chapter in the car's history. It demonstrated Ford's commitment to making the Mustang a nimbler, more athletic car. But at this point, it was moving so far away from the early ideas as a muscle car that if it wasn't for the profitability and recognizable brand, it may have ended here. But as we'll see in the next chapter of the Mustang journey, the car was about to undergo another transformation that would make it an even more iconic and legendary car. The fourth generation was a bit of a risk for Mustang, because at this point, 30 years into its production in Dearborn, the enthusiasm for the car within Ford, as well as the factory itself, were aging quickly. However, Ford CEO at the time, Alex Trotman, loved the Mustang and tried to reinvigorate Ford Motors to fall in love with its baby again, and he didn't want to see the car discontinued under his watch. 1994 marked the start of a new era for the automobile industry, and after 14 long years, the fourth wonder of the Ford was ready to roll in the streets. The fourth generation, popularly known as the SN95 Mustang, was nothing less than an engineering marvel. It was the 30-year anniversary of the Mustang, and it was designed to be a sleeker, more modern car with an aggressive front end and a smoother, more aerodynamic body. It was designed to walk the fine line between both sports car and casual car. Under the hood, the fourth generation Mustang was given a range of engines, including a V6, a V8, and a supercharged V8 option in the Cobra model. The Mustang Cobra, introduced in 1996, was a performance-oriented model that featured a powerful 4.6 V8 engine and sport-tuned suspension. In 1999, the Mustang was given a refresh, which included a new front fascia and updated interior, making it even more attractive and a head-turner. It was a generation that was closer to the first generation of Mustang than it was to its previous generations. Production of the car was moved from Dearborn to a new, larger factory in Allen Park, and the car's advertising was focused on getting people back to what they loved about Mustang in the first place. The new slogan was, "Have you driven a Ford lately?" as a way to tell people we're back to what you knew and loved. One of the most iconic models of the fourth generation Mustang was the Bullitt Mustang, which paid homage to the famous Mustang from the Steve McQueen movie. The Bullitt Mustang was a limited edition model that was designed to be a classic interpretation of the classic muscle car. It was available in dark Highland green and featured a special grille and 17-inch wheels. The SN95 Mustang platform continued to be used until 2004, making it the longest-running generation of Mustangs to date. However, it was just the beginning of the 21st century. The potential for improvement using advanced technology was limitless. As anticipated, Ford took complete advantage and showcased it in the legendary fifth generation. The S197 Mustang, the fifth generation of the Mustang, was a long-awaited modern interpretation of the original Mustang design. Ford unveiled the S197 Mustang 2005 with a striking retro-inspired exterior, including a sculpted body and a distinctive front grille. The fifth generation got back to its pony car roots. First generation design and muscle, but with a few modern touches for the younger driver. The S197 Mustang underwent several performance upgrades. In 2007, Ford introduced the Shelby GT500, which boasted a supercharged V8 engine and sport-tuned suspension. The GT500 was an instant hit among Mustang lovers and car sport enthusiasts. The fifth generation was also the basis for the Boss 302, a high-performance version of the car introduced in 2012, which further cemented the Mustang's place as America's iconic muscle car. And it even caused GM and Chrysler to look into bringing back the Camaro and the Challenger. In 2015, Ford unveiled the sixth-generation Mustang, a modernized and refined take on the classic muscle car. Now 50 years old, its sleek exterior boasts a low profile and wide stance. Available as both a coupe and convertible, the sixth-generation Mustang offers a range of engines, including a turbocharged four-cylinder V6 and two V8 options. The trapezoid-shaped radiator and honeycomb grille, round headlights, and three dummy air vents worked. It wasn't a newly designed car, but it felt next generation without losing what was in the previous one. The Mustang didn't try to be a Secretary's car. It was made to feel muscle. It knew its consumer, and it gave them what they wanted, along with some technology updates like a digital dashboard. Now, before I talk about the 7th generation 2024, a few words on the 2023 electric Mach-E. Like it or not, EVs are here, and the crossroad of electric and muscle car needs to be discussed. The power may not be there, but give it time. Sitting and staring at a car that looks like an iPad takes some getting used to. And since the full Mustang all-electric model is coming out in 2029, unless we want to end up driving a muscle car named Tesla, us old-school classic car enthusiasts better embrace the future, or we could end up like those still driving a horse and buggy. So coming in late 2023 is the most awaited 7th generation of Ford Mustang. It comes with a fresh design, both inside and out, but retains the signature styling cues, which gave it an unmistakably Mustang look. The new bolder and edgier look gained a lot of attention at its unveiling at the 2022 Detroit Auto Show. Forget pony car, forget fox car, this Coyote V8 power is promising to be the most powerful 5-liter ever offered in a Mustang GT. Ford continues to offer the new generation Mustang with the same 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder engines and the 5-liter V8s. However, the latter is said to be significantly upgraded, with Ford yet to reveal the new power and torque figures. An updated 10-speed automatic transmission will be standard in the 2.3-liter engine, but offered as an option in the 5.0 V8. And Ford could offer a manual gearbox on the top-spec Mustang GT. As the Mustang turns 60 in 2024, we can't help but look back on 6 decades